Season 3, Episode 7 has all fingers pointed to where all are guilty, not just Lulu, but all of Southside. The difference is while everyone remembers what they're guilty of, Lulu can't remember what he did or said.
Do it, nigga! But you ain't taking the rest of us with you.
The fuck that mean, man? Ease up. I ain't doing nothing.
We already know about Lulu, so let's look at the rest of Southside. Just so we don't have to look for Ronnie, because he is everywhere. He is on the rise as the neighborhood bully, Kanan's sidekick, acting as a business partner, and moving with a two-man wrecking crew. First up is Paul. Ronnie visited Paul because he had a problem with Paul telling Kanan that he could go to the police. Ronnie told Paul that saying it is worse than doing it. After roughing Paul up for a while, as a teaching point for Kanan, Ronnie had Paul dragged to Kanan's. While doing some business on the phone, Kanan looked up to see Paul being shoved inside. Kanan found humor in Paul's ordeal with Ronnie, as it felt good for Kanan to experience being bowed down to. Of course, Paul didn't find it funny at all, so he pleaded with Kanan to call Ronnie and his goons off. He wanted Kanan to speak up for him. Before they were able to get Paul on board with them, in walks Famous, and the first thing that he sees is Paul sitting side by side with Ronnie, and Ronnie has his gun out. Then Kanan asked Famous why was he there. Famous, guilty of talking too much, said that everyone was busy, that he would leave, but Ronnie told him that he didn't have to leave, just to make an example of Paul in front of Famous. So as Paul was pleading about not calling the police, trying to win Ronnie over, then Ronnie told him to get up because he pissed himself. Kanan found it funny, of course, and they headed back to Paul's place, and Kanan told Famous to get his stuff and leave before he gets back. He was only going with them to make sure that Ronnie don't kill Paul. Rock had the blessing of Stefano, but it was not so easy to convince Quan that she would be a good fit to replace Unique. Quan told Rock that he would let Unique's deal die with him. Then he thanked Rock for coming. Rock refused to lose, so she kept talking to Quan about having larger ideas than Unique. Quan gave Rock a couple of months to organize her operation to make real money. Rock told Quan to get her the work and she will get him paid. Famous gathered his stuff, and I'm afraid that he took too much time because he was still there when Kanan and Ronnie came back. Side note, is Famous holding on to the gun that he used to kill Freddie? First thing that Ronnie noticed is the bag in Famous's hand and asked what is in it. Famous explained that it's his stuff and that he was moving back in with his mom. Ronnie asked Famous what was so good about him that his mom missed him. Famous said because he is her son, and looked at Ronnie like, dude, are you serious? But that didn't last because Ronnie told Famous that he is his mom's son and that she doesn't miss him. Ronnie told Famous that Kanan said that he likes talking a lot and nobody liked that, except maybe his mom. Famous was now in Paul's seat, with Ronnie the bully twisting Famous's words, saying that Famous said that he looks shook, and he can show him what shook looks like. Just like Paul, Famous was pleading with Kanan to get him out of the mess with Ronnie. Then Kanan vouched for Famous, and he left. Famous was shook. Detective Tanner and Howard discussed Marvin's file. Not really. Tanner basically told Howard that it's a one-way conversation because there are certain details that he cannot talk about with Howard. In the midst of their conversation, Howard is distracted by Scrappy's mom with another detective outside the room. Howard manages to leave Tanner to catch up with Detective Ping and Chantel. Chantel is busy telling Ping what she knows when Howard tells Ping that Tanner wants to talk to him. Howard went in to hear Chantel out and take notes. Chantel was guilty of her usual loud self and wanting to tell the police what she knows. Marvin went to Gerald's place to check on him and is surprised when he saw Gerald's daughters sitting in the car. Marvin got the girls and took them to the door with him as he knocked for Gerald to let them in. Gerald opened the door with fresh tracks in his arm. The girls looked at Gerald and ran inside. Marvin just looked at Gerald. Howard continued listening to Chantel long enough to realize that the snitch is Lou Thomas. Although Chantel said that Lou appeared drunk, she believed that Lou admitted that her son did not kill himself. She believed that there was validity in what Lou told her. Howard told Chantel to keep her mouth shut so that the neighborhood don't label her a snitch and something bad happens to her, and that he would get to the bottom of her issue. Marvin wasted no time asking Gerald how long were the girls outside. In the car, in the cold. Gerald said a half hour, an hour, maybe 2 hours. Gerald really didn't know. He didn't know that he lost track of time getting high. Famous went to his room at his mother's house and put the gun in the closet. She explained her fears and why she told him to leave. Looks like Famous has matured. He told his mom that she was right to do what she did because he was acting like a clown. Then Famous sat on his bed and started talking again in riddles. His mom embraced him and told him not to think about it right now. Jukebox's group, Butter, was very excited. They had a gig at the mall and was congratulated by Nikaya. She wanted special shots taken of the girls, with each taking turns in the front so that she can determine who stands out more. Howard did what Howard is guilty of. He meets Raquel in some garage or on some rooftop for them to exchange information, but Rock is mostly on the receiving end. He told Rock that her stupid little brother went to Scrappy's mother's house, spilling his guts. Also, he told Rock that she is lucky that he got in between the mess. Howard blamed Rock for the mess, and she returned the favor by telling him that he is coming to her because he messed up first with Scrappy. Rock told him that she will handle Lou, and what's the status on the task force? Howard said nothing, even knowing the file with Marvin's name on it is on Tanner's desk. Uncle Marvin took care of Gerald's girls. Gerald thanked Marvin, and they argued about Gerald's behavior, getting high, and the lack of care for his daughters. Marvin asked about their mother, but Gerald said she got him on drugs and left, so he doesn't know where she is. Gerald admitted that he has no other family to help because he burned those bridges. Jukebox went back to the military recruiter station to select a job. As they went through the list of careers, there was nothing of interest to Jukebox. She reminded the recruiter of promises made when they solicited at her school. Marvin was with Gerald to let him know what Jukebox looked like for his story, but after finding Gerald as he did, the priority is now his daughters. Lulu is drinking and listening to Famous's song, What's the 411? When Shirley walks in and tells Lou that the song is moving, very emotional, and Lou tells her that it's that way because it's the truth. Raquel is determined to get this work started. She waited outside for Marvin, upset about the news from Howard of Lulu going to Chantel's house. She told Marvin that Lulu must make this right or else. Marvin said that he was on top of it. During the meeting, Richard and his wife were nervous after hearing about Unique. Marvin and Rock told them that whatever happened to Unique was not business and that they know business. Rock reminded them that they are their new partners and nothing has changed. Rock wanted to know if they owned other shops, as her vision was larger than one place, and found out that they don't own the one they're in. Richard's uncle does. So when Rock asked how could they meet him, get to talk to him, since he owns 20 other shops, they pointed the uncle out, who was actually there eating. When Jukebox and Aisha walked out of the bathroom, they found Kanan and Crystal talking. Kanan told Aisha that they had to get going because the movie would be starting soon. Jukebox asked Kanan, as she hadn't seen him for a while, about his older new friends from the party. Kanan told Jukebox that they were not his friends, they were his associates. Jukebox echoed Kanan that he had associates. Then Jukebox said that they used to stick up banks until they started selling dope. Do they have you robbing banks now, Kanan? As Kanan didn't like where the conversation was going, he and Aisha left. Afterwards, Jukebox told Crystal that her cousin is with Aisha. Stay away from him. Crystal's response to Jukebox was, freak you. Richard's uncle and Raquel attempted to talk business, but were distracted by Marvin and his struggle with his chopsticks. Richard's uncle tried to help Marvin, but he wanted to impress him and failed miserably. They talked variable versus fixed incomes, resulting in the uncle wanting a percentage of Rock's business. Rock wanted to see the locations before having a conversation about percentages. The uncle got a copy of the locations for Rock, and Marvin wanted to know if the other spots have his favorite meal, the number 37. Rock wanted to check out the locations and circle back to Richard's uncle. Kanan's date with Aisha did not go as he planned. She told Kanan that he was moving too fast. Kanan paused, then tried her again. At that point, Aisha told Kanan that she was going home. As Kanan felt the pushback, he told Aisha that she could take a train home. He was going to finish watching the movie. Raquel began her recon of the restaurants. She watched workers move box items into the place, and she captured the name of the company from the service trucks. Remember, Lulu's guilty of drinking and snitching and drinking. We will soon see where that gets him, memory loss and all. Rock is busy reconning her potential businesses while Ronnie is busy with Juliana, and Ronnie has his glasses off. Who comes home? Pernessa. Ronnie wanted to know why was she there, even though it's the home she shared with Unique and their son. I thought that it was bold of Juliana to go there. So did Pernessa. When she asked Ronnie why was the lady from the bodega in her home, Ronnie told Pernessa to get her stuff and go. Pernessa tried to raise up against Ronnie when she told him that it was still her and Unique's house. Ronnie told her again, get your stuff and go. She got the message. Juliana told Ronnie that Pernessa did not like him. Ronnie didn't care, but Juliana told him that he should because enemies are dangerous, especially when they're family. Raquel is still at it, with sparks going off in her head. Most would call it a business plan. Howard found Burke's father at the precinct to get her stuff. He shared his grief with Howard, and Howard offered help if he needed him, then hurried off to his work. Rock visited one of the restaurant suppliers to inquire, but was met with resistance from a partial owner who told her that they only supply Chinese restaurants and they cannot help her. Rock thanked him for his time and went her way. Detective Howard was called by Captain Batiste to let him know that he got the job in narcotics. At least the paperwork portion was done. Now Howard had a few more hoops to jump through. The task force needed to run a background check and talk to a few folks. Did Howard bite off more than he can chew? Jukebox went to visit Kanan, but was stopped in the hallway by Ronnie's goons. Jukebox made enough fuss that brought Ronnie to the door to talk to his guys. Kanan told Jukebox that she should have called first. She asked why. Ronnie got cereal and watched them go at it. Jukebox was upset at Kanan's behavior towards Aisha at the movies. Kanan downplayed it and told her that Aisha and Butter will be all right. Jukebox told Kanan that he is still a scared little boy trying to show his mama that he's a man. Jukebox left. Ronnie told Kanan that he can talk to her. Kanan told Ronnie that he ain't never talking to her because his family ain't got nothing to do with the two of them. Burke's dad met Adina in the park to give her a picture that he found in Burke's stuff. He apologized to her as well and explained that he was trying to understand why his daughter did what she did. He asked Adina if there was anything that he should know. He asked about Howard, but Adina steered clear of the conversation about Howard and walked away. Pranessa reached her mom's place, and yes, Ronnie was standing there behind her. She asked if he was following her, and Ronnie said that they're family, and whoever did all that at the tailor shop is still out there. Ronnie told Pranessa that she had to be careful, that he didn't want anything to happen to her. She is all that Jerome has left. If Pranessa had any doubt about Ronnie, he just confirmed it. Now what, Pranessa? Lulu can't catch a break. He was wiping down tables at the bar when his mom walked in. She complained that Rock isn't giving her enough money and she's got bills to pay. Lou gave her what he had. She said that Lou is part owner of the club and that's all that he had to give his mom. She mentioned his dad in joints like the Cafe Vu and what it did to him. Lou reminded her that the club did not do it to him. In the kitchen at Rock's house, Jukebox was very chatty. She told Rock that Kanan isn't the same anymore. He's messing with Unique's brother and messing with Bonnie and Clyde, a.k.a. Snaps and Pop. Famous moved out and she doesn't know what the work is. Rock asked when, why. Jukebox had no answers, just information. Kanan knocked on Crystal's door. He told her that she was bold to call him up the way that she did. She was even bolder as she invited Kanan inside. Lulu drank this episode away to the point of memory loss. So he says. Big Brother Marvin acted as overseer for Lulu to clean up a mess that he doesn't remember making. Marvin explained to Lulu that drinking is part of his problem. Nevertheless, Lou went back to Chantel's house to put a bullet in her brain for running her mouth to the police. Lou stared Chantel in the face, told her that he was sorry, and killed her. As they drove away, Lulu could see the ghost of Scrappy in the window. Thank you for your time. Remember to subscribe, like, and drop your comments in the box. Always thank a veteran for their sacrifice.